What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So this upcoming week is going to be a very big data-driven week. So starting off with macro data, Monday, we don't really have too much. We do have a lot of Fed speakers, but then again, there's a lot of Fed speakers throughout the whole week, so that could cause some volatility in among itself. Tuesday, we have ADP employment, the weekly. Previous was 11.5. Then we have the dreaded CPI. And based on a lot of the recent comments, Feds now are going to be looking at inflation, and supposedly that's the biggest issue in the market as of right now. So CPI is going to be a big one. So that's coming out Tuesday before the bell. New home sales, a couple Fed speakers. Wednesday, January the 14th is going to be a big day for the broader market. Very similar to last Friday, in fact. So we do have PPI and also retail sales, but because of Friday, everyone was anticipating the Supreme Court to give some ruling on the tariffs. Unfortunately, they didn't. They pushed it to January the 14th. So same type of just pause is most likely going to occur on the 14th. So institutions were rather timid on Friday, just waiting for this. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how that does play out. Aside from that, though, on the Thursday, we just have initial jobless claims, so regular stuff. Again, a lot of Fed speakers. And then Friday, we don't really have too much that'll really impact the broader market. As far as companies unveiling the earnings, bank season or earnings season is, I guess, kicking off, but banks this week. So we have JPM and many others, and dependent on what they give for future guidance and how they really portray consumers, if they're still out there really just kind of doing what they do, or if there's some pain, then of course the market is going to react accordingly. Specific to Lucid, there isn't anything planned. So the pop-up tour in Austin is concluding on the 11th, so nothing really planned for this upcoming week. And then aside from that, the only thing I wanted to kind of vaguely bring up, maybe I'll kind of dive deep into it a little bit more on Monday, but there was this one video that was posted by 2-Bit Da Vinci, and this video was given to me by Corey, who posted on YouTube, so shout out to Corey. But in this video, this individual talks about the donut, and conveniently, I don't know why. So other than at the 20-second mark, brings up Lucid, how essentially this solid state battery, which is already in manufacturing and technically can be integrated in Lucid and any other EV, it can extend Lucid's range like up to 700 miles, 700 plus miles, without adding any additional weight. So you never know. This might be something Lucid looks into. I listened throughout the whole thing, and yeah, this, other than this one point right here, like anyone can have it. Like it's not any special licensing. All you have to do is just purchase it itself. So maybe it's an opportunity for Lucid, but again, I think this is going to level the playing ground a little bit. So something to keep in mind. Looking forward into this upcoming week, looking at shorts, 35.57% of the free floats being shorted. Works out to be 46.37 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average 19.48, so it's been somewhat that range for the last little bit. DTC sitting at 5.79 days, so still does signal that shorts are relatively overextended. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around 12 to 1250, so a nice recovery is anticipated. Bears, on the other hand, are kind of anticipating for it to be sub 1050. So this week is going to be a fairly big week, with it closing on Friday at 1133, smack dab in the middle between this R1 and the pivot. So 1103 and then 1063 is going to be support levels. 1143, 1167 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. So Lucid did surprisingly do very well on Friday, especially considering a lot of other kind of speculative names started to kind of get dragged down with the broader market, so that's kind of a good thing. Aside from that, quickly popping right over here, so on the actual chart itself, this unfortunately isn't looking too great. It did luckily enough close above that 10-day moving average, so it kind of shows that momentum is building a little bit, but stochastic RSI is at 78, so arguably overbought, and it's already below a lot of the other key pivotal moving averages that generally I like to look at. So that includes the 50, 100, and also 200. In my opinion, even if all the data comes in good, companies solid, like for earnings, give good future guidance, realistically, I don't see this 50-day moving average being hit, and that's currently sitting at 1339. We could see a nice run to that, but I do believe that this week might be somewhat of another stagnant week, or potentially a little bit of consolidation. Last week it did do fairly well, so I think it went from here to here, so about a 7% increase, so that's definitely good, shows some signs of bottoming. But moral of the story, it really needs to kind of just hold some of its gains, and a lot of this is stemming from institutions not buying. All of this crazy price action, yes, there's some institutional transactions here and there, but most of that was done by algorithmic trading. So when it comes to the market position, you can kind of see that there is some willing buyers up until around that 1080. So it is going to be pretty much a push in either direction. That's all that Lucid needs, is a nice gentle push, and then you could easily see around that $12 range, 12 to about 12.40 being realistically hit. Flip side, same thing could happen on the downside. So if Lucid does get hit because of macro events or whatever else, if it goes down, you could see that 1070. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Where do you realistically see things going? Are you buying? Are you selling? What are you generally doing? With all that said, appreciate all you watching. Then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid on-point buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all you watching.